What's up, folks, and welcome back to another review video. If you haven't guessed from the title, I'm going to be talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunner, a new anime on Netflix, and I'm just going to give my thoughts on it. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it for you guys. Now, before I get into my actual review and thoughts on the anime, let me preface this by saying that before watching this anime, I actually didn't know too much about Cyberpunk 2077, which is the game that this anime is actually based on. Outside of seeing a little bit of gameplay, I actually didn't know too much about the lore or plot, so I won't be comparing the two that much. However, what I do know is that the game is a sci-fi dystopian action RPG that takes place in the fictional town of Night City, and that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge of the game. Now, with that said, one of the things that I really did love about this anime is that even though it does take place in Night City, which is the same city that the game takes place into, you don't really need to know much about the game to actually really enjoy this anime and watch it. Sure, they use terms and world lore without going super into depth about it within the anime, and I'm sure that you probably learn more about the actual lore of the world in the game. But to be honest, it's never anything too crazy to the point where you actually get lost while watching. Like, there was never a moment in the anime that I was like, man, I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, they reveal enough about the lore and stuff like that where you know what's going on. But I would have liked them seen to go a little bit more in depth. But honestly, I'm not docking the anime for that at all. Now, this anime is for the most part based, like I said, in the world of the game. However, I'm pretty sure it is a prequel. If I remember correctly, I think it takes place about a year before the events of the video game. So again, you don't need to know too much about the actual plot of the video game to enjoy this anime. Now, speaking of plot, that's honestly one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed about this anime. The story centers around a teenage kid by the name of David Martinez, who, after a tragic loss, he basically falls into the fast-paced and dangerous world of edgerunning. Now, edgerunning is, think of it as like the sci-fi equivalent of joining a gang, essentially. So he's taught the ropes of edgerunning while bonding with a team of misfits, eventually making a new family. Now, of course, he meets a girl, because there's always a girl. And even though most of them were cybernetically enhanced, I actually really enjoyed how diverse the cast of characters were. Like, it was really cool to see like the different sort of characters that they were doing, and to have a lead character to actually be Hispanic, which is really cool. I mean, we don't get that too often, especially in Japanese animation. So it was really cool to see that. Now, of course, when it comes to the plot, there's a few twists and surprises, but I think that the biggest decision and like the like really just simplest decision that the writers could have made was keeping this plot very simple. Now, by simple, I don't mean boring, but more so linear, where it is sort of a straightforward plot. Of course, there's small twists and turns here and small kind of like, I guess you could say, reveals, but the plot isn't something that we haven't seen before in media. So it was really cool for them to keep it simple and not get too intricate with it. But I think that with the small twists and the way that they actually deliver it in the anime actually makes it unique in its own way. Like, it was something that I really enjoyed. Like, I didn't think I was going to enjoy this story as much as I actually did. So it was really cool for the writers to do that. And overall, I think that's what made the anime so popular and so good and had so many people enjoy it. Another big thing I really enjoyed about this was also the character development. And just 10 short episodes, they not only introduced characters for you to love and or hate, but they also did an amazing job developing them along the way through those 10 episodes. Now, I obviously don't want to give too much away, because I do want you guys to, if you haven't seen it, to go watch it. I'm not trying to do too many spoilers, but I will say, man, by episode 10, I was almost tearing up. Like, and I don't think an anime in a long time has made me almost tear up like this one did. So yeah, it's just overall really good. When it comes to the animation, now at first glance, I was a little skeptical and weary about this because I was like, I didn't know if I was going to actually like it because of the animation. But honestly, the more I watched it, the more like I actually really enjoyed the animation. The action was actually really quite impressive, as well as the soundtrack. Now the soundtrack is honestly fire. I don't know if it's the same soundtrack in the video games. I know there's maybe a few songs that they pulled from the video game and put into the show, but I'm definitely adding the soundtrack to my list, my music list. So, but yeah, now the show is TV mature, so I wouldn't recommend watching it with young children. But overall, it's honestly a really great weekend anime binge, and I'm gonna be honest, it has me maybe wanting to check out the video game. I ain't gonna make any promises just yet because I have a lot of video games I actually got to get through and beat. But if it goes on sale around Black Friday, Christmas time, I might actually look into getting it. So listen, I don't know what Netflix has been doing with these anime original series, but all of them have been on point so far. So I'm excited to see what they have in store for the future, and not just Netflix, but all of these streaming services. As long as they outsource and partner with these really good animation studios, I think anime is in safe hands. So yeah, if you enjoyed the Cyberpunk Edgerunner series, or if you didn't enjoy it, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel, and as well as hit that notification bell. But that's all I have for you guys today. So until next time.